Guys, let's get 100 likes and I will release part 5 immediately. Xiaomin sits down at the game table with her friends. The dealer deals the cards. As soon as when she sees her cards, she doubles her bets. Xingxin raises the bet. 2 guys in. Kai's girlfriend is passed. That leaves only Xiaomin, who hesitates to give an answer right away. Girlfriend advises her to discard her cards if they are bad for her. Xiaomin decides to increase it. The dealer asks for everyone open their cards. Xiaomin reveals the cards, and it turns out that she has a royal flush. She wins the first con and takes all the money for himself. This makes the girl very happy. At the same time, the guys behind her talk to each other. It turns out that Xiaomin is very lucky because she is over 5. I raised 20 rounds from a mere 3,000. The other guy asks her how much money she has. There are already straight flushes. Here they turn to the hero, urging him to pay attention to Xiaomin. Another even offers to try it. A friend pulls him down, reminding him that Mr. Zhang wants to deal with Luo Chen, and if they get involved, they might get hurt. The first one, it is claimed that there is nothing to be afraid of, and he likes people like the hero who keep up with him with dignity. He also reminds a colleague that Luo Chen is familiar with land buyer, so that there may be large connections. The hero at the same time notes that gambling is fun, to which it is better not to touch, because it is impossible to beat avid card players, and the fact that losing that money is just a trick. One of the guys at the table can hear them perfectly. Words, mentally noting that the hero is not so bad, since he understands such things. This player does note that not all people in the sales department are sycophants. The interlocutors of the hero still decide to try to play, because they believe that they can win once and leave immediately without getting involved in this fight. They bid farewell to Luo Chen, who is now in the middle of the night. He remains unconvinced about gambling. The dealer deals out cards for a new game. After receiving the cards, one of the players decides to bet all the chips. This surprises everyone. Those present. Kai is a little tense about it. He approaches the player from the back, deciding to ask him what he was doing, because they had teamed up with him to destroy Xiaomin, and in the end, they had been forced to do it. The pro decided to beat them, too. Lao Lai, that's the player's name, talks about his principle. One is he. If you want to sit down at the game table, you need to be equally nice to everyone, because someone's money is not worth it. It will always be their money. Kai begins to believe that his friend is bullying him. Jock, he tries to cheat, but someone sends him away, saying that if he doesn't play, then he should get out of here. Kai decides to get even with the impudent man. He asks his girlfriend to leave so he can sit down at the playing table. He also asks her to take another 200,000. In this, 2 guys that were confident in their abilities, nervously trembling at the table with horror. Luo Chen urges them to stop. After all, there is no chance of winning. In addition, they are already on the verge of bankruptcy, and if they remain without money, the company will not help them in any way. One of the guys says it won't work that way, but he is playing with money from a credit card. And if he returns without winning, then next month he will be able to pay for it. You will have to eat only the earth. The second young man is no better, because he plays on borrowed money. He believes that he was just lucky a few rounds, but Feng Shui constantly changes its own course, because of which it is simply impossible to always lose. Director Zhang decides to ask Kai about the situation. He clarifies how things are going with his local employees. Friends, the man reminds that they wanted to use Shang Xiaomin to dig a hole under Luo Chen, and in the end, it just so happened that most of them lost a lot of money here. Kai, it also requires you not to talk nonsense. It goes through several rounds. The jock flies up from the spot, putting all the money is on the line. He just doesn't believe that he can lose with such cards. His girlfriend, she tries to calm him down, because they don't have much money left. The pros are revealed at him. It turns out to be a square, which is why he wins again. The dealer asks Kai to go to the exchange office to close the debt, because the monetary amount of his bet is greater than the number of chips. Then Kai accuses the player of cheating. Those present support this opinion. After all, he wins more than 10 rounds in a row, and this is no longer like ordinary luck. 2 security guards in black glasses appear behind the pitching. They're a head taller than he is. Men ask for, don't make a fuss with Kai by saying that if he likes to play, then he should also like to play. Lose. The jock takes off, claiming that the guards don't care what he's doing. The opponent cheats. He tries to say that he is not a simple person because he works for the bio. At this moment, another man appears from behind the 2 thugs. It looks more formidable and confident. This person is Dao, who is Bio's main bodyguard. He encourages the young person who said something like that to come forward. Kai starts to tremble nervously. Out of fear, Kai asks his brother to stop, but Tao prescribes him a delicious bream, forcing him to fall on the ground. He reminds me that Kai doesn't have any right to call him brother. Chief bodyguard, Bio leans over the arrogant upstart, claiming that he has considerable courage since he dared to use the name Bio. Kai apologizes, admitting his mistake, but he turns his gaze to the two guys who were protesting with Kai. It specifies whether they are. There was a lot of talk about someone cheating here. The two of them look away nervously, afraid to give a chance. Answer. Kai, on the other hand, momentarily forgets his fear and points a finger at the player at the table. The Dao hits him on the foot, saying he didn't ask him. The man explains his behavior. It is considered that this gambling hall is the most honest in all of Tongju, so what to say? The fact that someone is cheating here will lead to a deterioration in the reputation of the Bio. Director Zhang. He says it's just a misunderstanding. Dao sits down at the counter, saying it's not up to them to decide. He takes a seat at the counter, claiming that he will be watching Lao Lai to ensure that he doesn't dare to play dishonestly. If they are sure of their words and prove them in practice, they will be returned, the entire amount lost, and the case can be considered closed. Two guys who got up to their ears in the debts notice that they have lost every penny. The bandit's eyes sparkle. Anticipation. He is ready to lend them money, but they will have to return it 3 times more. Two guys realize that it is almost impossible to win 3 times as much, and Dao wants to make sure that they dug their own grave. The man also specifies whether they want to play or not. At the same time, he crunches his fists threateningly. These actions give them the creeps. Come forward, Luo Chen, asking. Lend him 100 grand. Zai Amen thinks that her young man is crazy. Two guys trying it out to dissuade, and the hero only says that you just need to recoup. Tao clarifies whether you understand. The interlocutor that he will have to return 300,000 to him instead of the 100 borrowed. Luo Chen requires you to start the distribution. Having received the cards, but not even looking at them, the hero puts everything on the line. Money. Zai Amen is horrified, because the guy didn't even look at the cards. Director Zhang and Kai. They are on the same page, because they know that if Luo Chen loses, he will pull them along. Also, they will surely disgrace themselves. Dao is also amazed that a boy with such abilities would dare stand up for others. The player is revealed first. He has 3 queens on his hand. The hero asks for forgiveness. At him, it turns out to be a jack and a king. And along with the cards on the table, it is a straight. He takes the first con. Nobody. He doesn't understand how Luo Chen did it, and Kai's girlfriend thinks he was just lucky. The opponent demands to continue the game. After a few rounds, the hero will have a huge pile. Chips. He won 1,400,000. This is all the money that his colleagues lost. Dao is amazed at what is happening, because the kid has won every blind. It tries to figure out how to do this. The man knows Lao Lai and his gambling skills very well. Besides, he's known as heartless. There's no way he could have intentionally leaked the game. The cards were handed out by a man, Dao, so the hero didn't have the chance to cheat. Luo Chen approaches Dao, informing him that gives him the agreed 300,000. He's about to leave, but he comes out of the next room. The person who says that the others can go, but they will have to stay. By this, the person turns out to be Bio. The audience recognizes the young man as Hong Bio, the king of the Tongju underground world. The latter orders his bodyguard to vacate the hall. The Tao orders everyone to leave the hall, with the exception of Luo Chen. Director Zhang nervously thanks for the opportunity. Kai is the same. Grabs his girlfriend, realizing that this is their chance to leave. All that remains are the guys for whom the hero also intervened, and Zai Amen. They are hesitant, so Dao them to hurry up, because if they stay here, it's certain death. The hero also notices that if they stay here, then they will. There's nothing they can do to help, so they can go. The first person who decides to go is the girl who leads away. Follow the guys. They descend to the first level of the Villa Hea's underground car park. Guys, I don't like what they did. They can't be considered loyal friends after this, after all. Luo Chen stood up for them. Zai Amen also says that they had no other choice, because against them. Still, Hong Bio made a speech. Guys take this into consideration, realizing that they can only hope that the hero will be alright. The hero decides to find out if the other person really wants him to stay here. Bio lights a cigar from the hands of a subordinate, after which he asks the guy not to worry, because he is just interested. His card skills, which is why he wants to chat with him. Luo Chen says he has nothing to worry about. Talk to him. Tao is blown up, not believing that anyone dares to talk to him like that. His boss, Bio, stops him with a hand gesture. He notices that since the interlocutor is if it is straightforward, then it will also speak directly. They give the hero a choice. Either he works for him, or he'll leave him with nothing. The last words make Luo Chen laugh, and then he notes that there is no one here who can do such a thing. The words sting Bio, but he doesn't mind. Decides to specify whether the other person will work for them or not. The hero is surprised. After all, not. He understands who Bio thinks he is to demand this. The king of the underground world is blown up from his place, noting that the interlocutor does not appreciate him at all. Good attitude. In a word, he unleashes on the hero of the Tao, which has long been impatient. Luo Chen, on the other hand, sees through the attacker's soul. He tells us that Tao is covered in blood and blood, other people's souls, and his hands had taken many lives. Before these words, the criminal moves, confident, but he has some hesitation. The hero notices that Tom finally became afraid. The dark-haired man is behind the enemy's back in an instant, declaring that he should be remembered in the next one. I know that in this world, not everyone can be contacted. The Tao assures us that in this world there is no one who would dare contact him. He notices that Luo Chen is behind him. Bandit, prepare to stab him with a knife, but the hero turns out to be the first. He decides to return it to Tom. The same words, so with a swipe of his finger he drives it into the playing table. Mentally, a former immortal notices that Emperor Wuji's breathing has weakened a bit again. He understands that before he will find suitable seeds, he will have to use it sparingly. Other security guards, they fall into a stupor because the guy dealt with their leader in one blow. Another man, he notices that Luo Chen is definitely a top-level martial artist. Bio same, he orders his subordinates not to panic, because even the master has his own limit and they have a lot people, so they'll just take it in numbers. Bio, on the other hand, nervously searches for a contact on his phone while he's waiting for it. People attack the hero in a crowd. Mentally, the king of the Tongju underground world understands that they had stumbled upon the master in a very inappropriate place. So they should call immediately reinforcements, because if everyone found out about today's events, he wouldn't have any more opportunities to do business in this city. Bio puts the phone to his ear, listening to the phone calls. Beeps. He bites his finger, knowing that his men won't last long. After a moment, he realizes that for some reason it became very quiet. He looks up and sees the hero, who clarifies whether he got through. All of Bio's people are already passed out. The phone is finally picked up. Someone asks what's the problem. Case. The king of the underworld is sweating, not knowing what to do. Then the hero gives him permission to answer. It turns out that Bio is calling the hero's student, the same one called the master. Noticing that the colleagues got into trouble, she drops the phone, asking them to get the car ready so they can get out of here. Let's go. The girl also notes that they need to hurry. Bio with a satisfied face, he turns to Luo Chen, admitting that he underestimated him today and that he definitely has a problem. There are abilities, but he should not assume that relying on his dexterity he will be able to. Being headstrong in Tongju, the king of the underworld declares that soon there will be people here, the ones he called, so even if there were 10 of them like him, he still wouldn't know. I won. The hero shows no interest, only asking them to hurry up so that they can speed up. Mentally, the interlocutor is indignant. He wants to recruit someone else, but tells the hero to wait. People are very bored. Luo Chen abruptly leans over the guy, causing him to drop the phone and offering to play something before they show up. The brunette clarifies whether the interlocutor knows what about the game 1000-7. Meanwhile, too, a student arrives at the gambling building along with Master Yu. The latter asks why. Security guards, what is happening in the casino and why they are not inside. The same ones say that half an hour. Lai Bio ordered them to clear the hall, so they went out. Master Yu slaps him in the face, calling him master. A blockhead. They take the elevator to the desired floor. As soon as the doors open, you will see they are presented with an unpleasant picture. Several dozen guards are lying unconscious. The man wonders who Bio has offended this time. At this time, a distant voice is heard. A cry of pain. Bio threatens the hero with violence, receiving blows to the face. He is sure that the guy today, he'll definitely die. Luo Chen is amazed that he is still snapping at him in this position. For him, this is a signal that this is still not enough. Then the king of the underground world hears the girl's voice behind him. Tears welled up in his eyes as his sister came to his rescue. Bio is happy that the master, Yu, is also here. He asks them to save him faster, and the girl recognizes the attacker as her own. Teachers, Bio already believes that the hero will die today. He points out that Luo Chen is not as special as the other one. Same Master Yu. The guy wants to say something else, but the girl prescribes him a strong bream, does not, knowing how he dared. This is baffling to Bio, a representative of the fair sex. The same asks for forgiveness because they failed to properly track their dog and thus insulted the teacher. At the same time, she bows her head in a respectful bow. Then it comes to Bio that this young guy is my sister's teacher. The girl orders a subordinate. Open your eyes and listen carefully. She introduces her teacher and dear family guest. The student also notes that the teacher personally saw her grandfather, so the Bio should go to him. Address him as Mr. Luo. Bio falls to her knees, begging for forgiveness. He admits he didn't know who I was dealing with and insulted him. The guy also asks Mr. Luo for leniency. Luo Chen passes by, shooting a piercing glance at Bio, who is already beginning to behave. Bury it. The student wants to intervene in this case, but the hero stops him with a hand gesture, saying that since it was her man, then he would leave it to her. The brunette also notices that he doesn't. Be sure to ask their opinion. A representative of the fair sex rejoices, demanding for the subordinate to thank Mr. Luo for showing mercy. Bio bows down. Thanks to. The girl asks the teacher to wait. She catches up with him on the way out of the building. It turns out that she was supposed to give him an invitation letter on behalf of her grandfather to the Tongju auction. The interlocutor hands the guy a beautiful envelope. The hero doesn't understand. Why does he need it? The girl asks if the teacher remembers the small wooden box from paintings. Luo Chen assumes that this is a box of spiritualized seed, so he says. She asks what's wrong with her. The student explains that her grandfather noticed that he was interested in her, and I wanted to invite him to this auction because that wooden box was originally wanted. Put it on it. The hero notices that the Yi family is going out of their way to attract him to their side. It may cause a lot of trouble. He informs the student that he accepts the invitation letter. He also asks her to pass on his gratitude to her grandfather. The student declares that he will pick him up in the morning, but Luo Chen insists that it is not necessary, because he will get there on his own. The guy jumps into a taxi and drives away. At the same time, subordinates treat Bio's wounds. The Dao clarifies whether the young man they ran into is definitely their sister's teacher. Bio also notes that today they were disgraced and defeated. It also requires that the next time they met the guy, they were respectful. He also wants to cook expensive gifts so that one day you can personally go to him and ask for forgiveness. Bio realizes that even if they do not have the opportunity to make friends with people of this status, they should not. You can't remain enemies. Events are transferred to the living room of the Yamaha Hotel. Luo Chen puts it on, the suit, and comes in it. He gives the guy at the reception desk his invitation and then passes forward. In the spacious hall, the rich chat about their own business. Chow communicates with an acquaintance who he says that he just saw a new face in this place. The fat man had heard that the new guy had very large connections, so he asks the interlocutor to find out more about him. Then baby Chen asks to see this person, noting that usually people of the same age come here and they almost all know each other here, so he doesn't understand how a stranger could appear here. Then he notices Luo Chen, who is wearing a suit. His appearance angered Ko because he does not know how he got there for such an event. He admits that he knows him. The interlocutor hugs him, stating that Chen is really very cool. The fat man wants to know what family this person belongs to. He wants Ko to introduce him so they can get to know each other. Little Chen also states that this is just nonsense because this guy is just a redneck. The interlocutor reminds us that this is impossible because today there is a private auction, not an open one. This means that a person with no connections would not be able to get here. Ko then claims to have seen the guy for 2 days back. He's willing to give a damn that this guy is just a redneck. The friend decides to accept the words. The guy is for the truth, so he notices that in this case he does not need to talk to him. Get acquainted. The fat man notices that Little Chen's tone has changed, becoming far from normal. Joyful. Then Ko says that this puppy dared to recapture the girl from him. These words, they surprise the interlocutor, who believes that the boy was lucky to live since he dared to do such a thing. He steps forward, deciding that he will help his bro deal with Luo Chen.